Your turn to pick.
Let's go. This is domination among the things you've been waiting for. Headed to the top if we make it, then we'll be taking more. There's no I can see, but something I guarantee is when you look into my eyes, it's determination you see. It goes without implication, innovation is at our eyes. So take a walk with a boss first, pick on flip side.
Hello everybody, welcome to episode 8 of First Pick. This week we're doing something a little bit different and we're going to be having the manager extravaganza on. My name is Finch, I'm going to be the host as usual, and joining me today is a two manager, 1-2 punch I guess, two of the guys who probably have the most to say, a whole lot of experience and a whole bunch of good stuff. So first of all, we'll start with the sunflower with the best picture we could have got. Monolith, thank you for joining us today. What's with the sunflower pick?
I was on the chat wheel, and I was fucking around with like the video edit things. And like, this is one of them, and I like this one. So that's me. In the words of RTZ, I'm gonna do me.
Hey, as long as the sunflower floats your boat, right? And also joining us, not a sunflower, no flowers at all, Samo, joining us in the blurry webcam, but it's the best you can do. Samo, how's it going? 2 a.m. over in Egypt?
Yeah, it's going pretty well. It's my favorite time of the day.
Yeah?
Sorry about the blurry camera, but we have really shitty internet, so...
Yeah, what can you do? Can't worry about it. But yeah, so today, like I said, we're gonna talk mostly manager stuff. I know some people want us to talk about events and things like that, and but you know, a Star Ladder happened, and those games are really good. But it's rare that we have two guys on that are very experienced in a specific area, so we're gonna focus on that. And then also, I just realized that when I was playing the overlay, I still haven't changed the pictures and shit around. So people who watch the VOD, I'm sorry, I haven't fixed them yet. I will do that, or I'll try to do that, or find somebody who can. MP3 people who just listen to the music anyways do not know the difference. And like I always am saying now, Mania should be back next week, which I said 5 times in a row. It would be 2 a.m. his time, and he was going to go to sleep, and his wife would not let him be up this late. So maybe he'll be back next week, hopefully. But let's dive in. Let's talk about manager-type stuff. Samo, why don't you start first? I know you started the blog this week, or 2 weeks. No, it's 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You're calling it Behind the Lanes, right?
Yep.
Okay, so what prompted you to kind of put this blog out there? What was the reason behind it?
I've actually had this idea for quite some time, and I always wanted to do it because I always read comments on Reddit or any community forum or whatever, and people don't seem to realize exactly how things work. And I think it leaves some kind of gap in the community. People keep assuming things, but every organization and every team so far has been keeping everything so secret. And I just don't like it like that, so I wanted to shed some light on how things go behind the scenes. So that's kind of the whole aim.
Okay. Yeah, I think so far you've done, 3 posts in? You've done a pretty decent job of kind of unloading a little bit of everything, not really having any, I guess not really holding back, so that's been kind of interesting. Charlie, what do you think about Samo's approach to this? Are you kind of agree with that idea of kind of let's blow the doors open and let people kind of see what is going on? Or do you think that that's kind of a bad move in the sense of it might make people kind of upset?
I mean, it really depends on how you do it. I think there are 2 sides to this. I think from a public side, they love to see it. They'd love to know what happens behind the scene. And sometimes, you know, that can help improve some of the practices in the scene, make them more transparent. At the same time, I mean, you just got to be sure not to say anything you shouldn't. I mean, I guess that's true for anything you put on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I like Samo's blog. I like it too. I always have a good time. I always have a good time reading it, seeing his insight and his experiences in the scene. It's very, I mean, I think he said it was cathartic for him writing it. I think it's cathartic for me reading it.
Well, that's good to hear, man. Yeah, and I know what you mean. Like, but like, I don't want to hide things. Like, even though I go through some things that I should probably not talk about, but I do talk about them because mainly it was under Absolute Legends, which is not a very good place as you can read. But yeah, I do get your point.
I think you're safe with that. I mean, as far as everyone else is concerned, AL is more or less gone by the wayside, and exposing things like that are well documented by players and everyone else in the scene isn't going to get you burned or anything.
Yeah, although I did get some, like, I made some people angry, some players for talking about, but yeah, I think it was okay. I think it was worth it. I did not say anything that was out of line or wrong. I just stated the truth, though. I'm fine with it.
I mean, it's no secret either. I mean, for the most part, none of that stuff was a secret.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think it definitely is kind of secretive to people who are outside the bubble and people who are only watching maybe like a stream here or there or a tournament here or there. I think that's the market that kind of eats this stuff up, and they find it very interesting because they don't really know what kind of goes on. A lot of it is behind closed doors. Like you said about the ale stuff, and I think that even kind of goes along with the whole stuff with Marco and all that kind of drama of people don't understand that stuff is happening behind the scenes, and so it is beneficial to have it out in the open, which I guess I don't want to bring it up, but the whole Natolik thing, I know, Samo, you talked about it in your recent blog about the ticket. Charlie, I mean, how do you think about that whole situation? Do you think Valve needs to step in with that whole shady situation and the Natolik ticket kind of running a tournament again? Or, I mean, what's your thoughts on that whole issue?
Well, I mean, personally, I don't think they should be allowed to run a tournament, whether or not it's... So I guess the thing is that if Natolik paid out, if Natolik paid their previous tournament or paid their previous winners and they had run a good event, like representative of what, if they had run something that the participants were happy with, then there's no reason for them to be denied a ticket. But they didn't really do that. I have no idea if they paid out, but
they didn't.
Just the they didn't?
No, not yet.
Oh, well, regardless, I mean, the administration of it was so terrible, and I think it's just at this point, it's just become a farce. I know Marco's still running it, and he's been pretty desperate to get casters. So I don't even know if it's going to happen.
I mean, but the one thing, do you think it should be on Valve or on the people buying the ticket to understand that this guy that is running this tournament is not paying out prize pools, that is not a stand-up guy? I mean, it seems kind of odd that Valve just kind of said, hey, yeah, let's just add another ticket on there. Like,
well, I guess it depends. If he's broken any of the rules that Valve has put in place for organizers, then yes, it's on Valve. Okay. If he hasn't done that, it's not really Valve's place to do that. I mean, the community should just vote with their money.
Right. Okay, I think it's a valid point. We'll have to wait and see what happens with it. I don't see many people purchasing tickets unless people really want those items sets. I know a lot of people buy them just for the item sets in a weird way.
Yeah.
But if that's them, then I guess that's what they want. They're going to get what they want out of it. They're looking just for that kind of real quick instant reaction. But I don't know. That's kind of off topic. That's not manager type stuff. Charlie, why don't you run down kind of how you got into the role of the manager and kind of some of your history, since Samo kind of did that in his blog overall. So where did you start?
Are you asking for my esports story?
I guess we can hear your esports story. As long as it's enjoyable.
Well, I can't guarantee that. But so I started out playing. I was like semi-competitive, whatever that means, back in Dota 1. I played in a lot of North American in-house leagues with a lot of the, I guess, current and old top tier North American pros.
Mm-hmm.
This was like 4 or 5 years ago. But at that point, there wasn't much of a future in Dota. It's not something that I could really do as much as I did, when I didn't have a lot of responsibilities. So I went to law school, and I guess in the middle of law school, Aoi 2000 asked me to be their manager for Bottom Bottom. I said yes, and got them sponsored with Dignitas, and the rest is sort of history.
You right?
I knew Aoi back in Dota 1, so that's how he got a hold of me.
Okay, so that's you kind of just fell into it. And Samo, you kind of had the same thing happen to you, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I started out as a news writer and basically climbed the shitty ladder of Absolute Legends, pretty much.
Poor Absolute Legends. I don't know. If you want to read more about Absolute Legends, go to Samo's blog. Was it behind the lanes at wordpress.com or .wordpress.com?
Yeah.
It's hard because a lot of the people I converse with kind of were a part of that organization at one point, and so there is always a lot of just bad stories, but just bad things that happened and went on. So be it.
Yeah, and sad because most of those people were really nice people. Just that the head management, or basically Tim, was not very nice, to say the least. Yeah. But yeah, let's not talk about that.
That's okay.
We've said enough.
That's totally fine. So we talked about kind of the back history of you guys becoming managers, and Samuel, kind of how would you sum up kind of your day-to-day, what you're trying to do? I know you're kind of split and roll with Shiba over at Sigma right now, but what is kind of your criteria, what you trying to do for some of these teams behind the scenes?
Well, what I do for Sigma is not as much as I used to do for the other teams. Mainly because, at first Shiba was manager with me. Now he's kind of not really, but he's still helping out because he's busy with the real life stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But fucking Matt himself is really good at this stuff. So the PR aspect, I used to be the only one handling it for my previous teams, but this one I have fucking Matt on my side, and he's really, really good with it, in my opinion. So it's not really that much work, which is nice because I now have a full-time job, and it's not as easy if I was managing the team alone. So I'm glad for that. But basically, the most important thing I do is scheduling, because I have to get on almost every day and keep up with every tournament. There's a lot of tournaments coming up. It's kind of overwhelming, but I think it's really good. But yeah, handling schedules with the players and the tournament organizers is mostly what I do now.
Okay. All right. Charlie, you kind of feel like you do the same thing with... do you guys go by Kaipe now? You going back, dropping the Speed Gaming logo, or what's the deal with that?
For now, we'll just refer to them as Speed Gaming.
Okay, so with Speed Gaming, what sort of things do you kind of take under your control right now as being the manager?
For the most part, it's pretty similar to what Samo said.
Okay.
The main bulk of it is scheduling matches and figuring out, I guess, they're in a, I guess if they're in sort of a unique phase right now, so I'm doing other things for them that I can't really talk about.
That's okay.
But I guess if they weren't in that phase, it would just be it would mostly be scheduling. And then some contact with sponsors if they need certain things, or sponsors need certain things from them. And then if this what's it called? This team doesn't need it so much, but if conflicts arise or players have issues with each other or anything else, I usually... That usually falls under my care to take care of it or to figure something out. But yeah, I mean, this like I said, this team doesn't need it so much.
Okay. That's always a bonus.
I get what you mean. Feels the same way right now.
Yeah. So essentially, you're saying you kind of don't do anything, you just kind of hang out, right?
I'm just the sunflower man.
You're just the sunflower
Yeah,
man. All right.
Exactly.
Hey.
And I'm the awkward Arab guy. that no one
You know
knows.
what? Everybody needs at least one awkward Arab guy. Growing up,
Exactly.
I had one friend that was the awkward Arab guy. He fit that role. Whenever there was a party, he would always bring a hookah. So he played that role.
No, he's badass then.
Yeah, he is badass. But that was his role. Was kind of the awkward Arab guy. So we got one today.
Well, if there's Suka, then it's a good party.
Samo, you have the coolest day job. Can you say what your day job is?
I don't think it's cool, but yeah, I'm a dentist.
Yeah, that's why it's cool.
It's not cool though. It's
Yeah,
the
that's
exact
legit,
opposite,
man.
It is cool because I always crack up because I didn't know you were a dentist until the one day you're like, I got my license. I'm officially a dentist. I'm like, wait, what? That was like the last thing I was suspecting. It came off guard. So we have a very intellectual cast today. Charlie went to law school. Samo went to dental academy, I guess, and I'm in grad school for psychology. So I guess we could say that this is the most intellectual cast of First Pick that we've ever had. I don't know if that's going to make it any better or not. But let's keep kind of talking and keeping it flowing so I can stop rambling and talking about my own bullshit. Samo, I know as far as managing kind of behind the scenes, you're talking about kind of bringing a lot of the stuff from the back forward out into the open. Just a manager's role, in a sense, seems to be some teams have a manager, some teams don't have a manager. Do you feel like kind of the manager role is a role that is needed within kind of esports and within teams, and it's something that should be kind of more prominent, and the community should know who the manager is and who's kind of doing the PR and the organization, that kind of stuff? Or do you feel like it should be more behind the scenes where no one knows who you are, kind of what you do?
I don't really think it matters that much if people know about you or not. I mean, it kind of has to if you're handling the PR, because you're going to want people to know who you are since you represent the team. It's your job, so if people don't know who you are, then you're not doing it very actively, I guess. But I don't think a manager right now is 100% needed. If the players have complete free time, then one of them can be the manager as well. It's hard, but it can be done. I think a manager just makes your team's life quite easier. If a team does not have anyone with experience in sponsorships and stuff like that, then they definitely need a manager, because they can be easily fooled in the sadly shady industry that we're in, most of it at least.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a manager is important in that aspect. Hell, even some managers are kind of shady, but yeah, sadly.
What can you do, right? Sunflower Man, what do you think about the kind of the manager role and where it's at, where it's going?
I don't know. I think right now all managers are kind of just figuring out as we go along. There's no rule book for this. It's a pretty nebulous sort of role.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's new to this. Everyone's just making it up as they go. I still think it's necessary to have a manager. You still need somebody to schedule. You still need somebody to take care of all the extraneous out-of-game stuff. Because I guess contrary to what it may seem like, being a professional player, especially in Dota, can be pretty taxing.
Mm-hmm.
You pretty much scrim anywhere from 16, 17 CET to maybe 24, 25. And there's incredible pressure on you to be the best. Because, this is a very top-heavy industry. So much of your mental energy is put into the game itself, and having to deal with stuff outside of the game is incredibly annoying. In the words of many pro players that have had to take on the role of player and manager, it basically paraphrases into "I want to kill myself." So, and it's nice to have. I guess some players have said it's nice to have a perspective, a non-player perspective that has the same interests as you.
Okay, but what do you think about the idea of we always compare kind of esports to sports, even though we probably shouldn't, but that's just an easy comparison. But in sports, you see kind of a lot of these teams, the managers at the kind of the center of the morale, the center of kind of the direction that they're moving and progressing. And a lot of times the manager's the first one to either get the praise or the first one to fall on their sword. And we say with football every year, someone like Bill Belichick, the team has success, they have guys get hurt, but they still have success. People praise and they say he's the greatest coach and all this kind of stuff. But then you have other teams, someone like the Texans, who they were supposed to be good. They have a hard time. Boom, you fire the manager the first moment you can get.
Well, I guess that's different because.
So do you think we're going to move in that direction, though?
Maybe eventually. I think that's a little different because Bill Belichick is a coach.
Okay.
He's a coach. He's not exactly
like us.
He's not exactly like us. He takes care of like actual in-game stuff. While some managers have some sort of influence on that, for the most part, there really aren't any coaches other than eHome71, and he's a really unique circumstance. So, I mean, Bill Belichick gets a lot of praise because he's really integral to how successful his teams are. But I mean, I think so. I think you can't really make that comparison.
Okay.
But I think.
But what about moving kind of the esports manager type thing? Do you think there's ever a possibility that managers are going to become more involved in kind of the like structuring practices and kind of more moving into that traditional coach type role to where you have an organization hire a manager to take control of it? Do you think something like that is ever going to happen, or do you think that's just kind of way too far out there?
Yeah, you'll see that.
Okay.
You'll see that in the next month.
Okay. I think that's always an interesting thing because I like to compare esports to sports.
I think it's already happening.
Yeah, it's already...
organizations are already looking for managers to come on and join them and find a team for them, manage it, as well as help run not the entire, but the squad-related Dota 2 sector for an organization.
Okay.
I personally have received some offers, so it is happening.
Offers weren't good enough to beat the teeth cleaning?
No, I don't know. What I do for Sigma, right now it's purely volunteer work, and I don't think it's worth it leaving my team for a salary that I will not really care about that much,
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm sorry for kind of derailing the topic, but I think that is interesting if kind of that manager role grows into that area. Maybe it's not right all the way right now, but it would be cool to kind of see that because that's just another aspect of esports where there is a viable position for people who kind of feel themselves drawn to that kind of coaching and organizing and motivating, things like that all together. I think that's a really interesting place. I guess real quick for chat, if you have any questions for either of these two fine fellas, please type them out. I'll grab them and we can ask it to them. We're just kind of trying to keep it free flowing. I guess until then, we were talking briefly before the cast about the whole NextKZ betting kind of quote unquote scandal. We haven't really seen anything official yet that if that's happened or not. Samo, you kind of started talking about it briefly. What do you feel about this kind of thing where you said it happened with Solo 322? It kind of keeps happening. It's not really going to go away. It's happening again. I mean, do you have anything specific on this topic that you want to kind of talk about?
Yeah, I think the worst thing about this kind of scandals or whatever is that I don't think you can ever 100% prove it, which was the case with Solo, and it's the case with Next right now. But the website has contacted Pinky, who is a very nice guy, by the way.
He is a nice guy. I asked Pinky to come on, but he said his English wasn't good enough. His English is fine. Every time I talk to him, his English is good enough.
Yeah, it is. Well, I don't know. Anyways, I think the betting website contacted him and they gave him info which can acquit them, but it's not it's not 100% that it was NextKZ players. It's just like IPs and things like that. But he can never prove it. But he went with his gut that, like that. I don't know. I don't want to use the word evidence like this, but yeah, their evidence was good enough, so he decided to disqualify them. But you can never be sure. And at the same time, I'm really surprised that if Next did do it, that they actually would do something like this. Because they're a really nice team and I like them, and it's really stupid.
Do you think
That's all, like,
the more proof is that was the game they picked? They went Pudge, Bloodseeker, Axe,
Crystal Maiden and
Bristleback. That's what it was.
yeah.
4 melees
Yeah.
and Crystal Maiden. Yeah,
I think it's kind of obvious, but at the same time, they could just, like, I don't know, be playing for fun. Like, if they did not have any bets on them, I'd be okay with it, but people say they did, so.
it's a weird area. Charlie, what do you think about this whole kind of betting thing?
Right. I mean, it's. I can understand why they did it, but it's just so unfortunate that players are at least motivated to the level where they would rather lose than win.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a situation where it's more profitable for you to tank games, like that needs to be rectified. And it's just I guess as a tangent,
Go for it.
they
I
did
love tangents.
they did such a bad job of it. Like if you're gonna throw, it didn't need to be that obvious.
Uh-huh.
They picked like the most bullshit lineup ever. Why?
It's true.
If you're gonna throw matches for bets, why? What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what Solo did too. It was also obvious with him, and like, why? If you're really gonna do it, just do it right. Maybe some teams already do it, and we don't even know.
I mean, like NA Dota throws on like a regular on a regular schedule, but nobody ever accuses them of max fixing. They need some lessons.
It just seems like the worst possible time. Like, if you know that, hey, we put some money on this, like, let's try to blend in. Let's do the best we can. Maybe I'll miss some last hits here and there. Like, yeah, make it obvious. You know what, though? Out of that game, in particular, the Pudge play was really bad. I thought the Bloodseeker pick, though, I thought, at the time, I saw Bloodseeker, I'm like, sweet. They got Slark, or Relax took Slark. Next case, he took Bloodseeker. Like, they're just playing this, like, they're thinking really hard. Bloodseeker's a really good counter to Slark. It's going to, force him to, fight him and all this kind of stuff. And no such luck. They go Pudge, Axe, and went bad. I don't know. Is Bloodseeker a good hero, or am I crazy? Do either of you guys have any opinion on that?
No, he's bad.
He's bad? I feel like he kind of is okay right now. Right?
No, I think he's still bad.
God damn it.
No, he's bad. I think he needs more range on Rupture or something.
Okay.
Just a little.
Just a
I don't
little.
know.
He's getting there. He's slowly getting there. All right.
He's not bad as a concept, but he's very bad in every lane, I think. He has no place.
So, I mean, I guess the problem is that he's like a shittier version of Bounty Hunter. Because like the counter to Bounty Hunter is to start 5-manning and push down towers.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't know, Bloodseeker is even more useless. Because he needs farm. He needs farm on top of that. Like Bounty Hunter, you can throw him in the offlane and he can get levels and still be useful. And Track helps you out your entire team. The fuck does Rupture do? Like,
Keep someone in
he's
place.
good. Bloodseeker is a win more hero.
Okay. I like that. I think that's good. That's well phrased. I don't know. God damn it. I was hoping you guys would agree with me. I think he's okay. Maybe he does he needs a little bit, and it would be cool to kind of get him to a place where he is useful. But I was hoping that NextKZ picked him to kind of have a place, so that then it slowly spiraled out of control. But chat questions are kind of slowly coming in. I believe Clover, he asked, what is their salary? That's kind of personal. Samo said you kind of volunteered. Charlie, I was just giving you the opportunity. Do you want to say anything opposed to that of kind of like, yes, salary, no salary, or do you just want to bag in with the next question?
Nope, sorry.
Okay, that's totally fine. No, I figured that's super personal, and it's not any place to ask. But a more important question, Bradley asks, Charlie, do you think floaties are no longer relevant in Smash?
That is a question best asked to Prague. He answers those kinds of questions all the time, and you should give him a follow and then ask at Producto. So shout out to him. I am really shit at Smash. I love the game and I watch it a lot, but I am really awful and have no place on saying whether or not floaties are still good.
Could you describe a floaty to someone who doesn't know what a floaty is? Because to me, floaties or floaters are something completely different than Smash.
A floaty character is somebody that stays in the air for a bit longer than normal, so they can be comboed fairly easily.
Okay. All right, so floaty character would be like Jigglypuff, right?
Jigglypuff is a floaty. Kirby.
Okay.
Yeah. Peach.
I like Peach. Okay, that's cool. I'm still new to this whole Smash thing. I thought Smash was a great game to drink some beer with and play with your buddies and just play for shits and giggles. Whatever happened. And then this whole documentary thing came out and everyone started hyping it up and saying I had to watch the documentary. So I watched the documentary. It was great, and we still play it all the time. But now it's like a whole new world to me. I didn't really know this world existed until probably about 6 months ago.
I cut my teeth on competitive Smash. I know a lot of Dota players, professional, like they started watching that game. Like that was their first intro into esports. Like a lot of people have their roots in Smash. When I saw the documentary, man, I shed a tear. It was
really well made. They did a really good job of kind of presenting the people and kind of made you relate to the people rather than the game. I think it was at the time when the Skullgirls Smash got in the whole like bidding war for EVO last year. So that was probably like a year ago at this point because I think the new EVO games are being announced. That was when I realized that Smash had a thing going on outside of just being a fun little party game. But we've gone way off. Chat, we need more questions, or else I'm just going to call us quits here coming up, and we'll talk about whatever we can talk about Smash. We can talk about Smash if we want. Samo, is there anything about being a manager that you feel like is hard and lacking and kind of something that you need to change in the future, or do you feel like you just kind of need to get better at what you're doing now? Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, it's not. I don't know. Are you talking about me or in general?
Just like in general with like a managing position. We talked about how it's there. Some teams have it, some teams don't. I think we all can agree that it's going to be more prevalent, and everybody's going to need to grow and kind of get better at it, and it's going to be super important. Like, what do you think? So, say if someone's scratch all that. All right, so I'm rambling. I guess I need to go get more beer. Say someone wants to become a manager. Like, what is the area that they need to become good at to kind of step into a managed position into a team and kind of exceed at it on top of kind of the scheduling and kind of organization in that aspect?
I think, like, to me, I think the most important thing is problem solving as well as PR, because I think like that's what separates a good manager from just a manager. Mm-hmm. I think anyone with like the simplest organizational skills can do the scheduling and all that other stuff, but I think it's not very easy handling public relations as well as problem solving when conflicts do arise. But what you were saying earlier, I think that a manager will not really be like 100% into it until it becomes more serious, where like there's like it becomes a full-time paid position, and I think that will happen in the future. I think some managers already are like this. I'm not sure if Charlie is, but I think Bumblebee from Team Liquid is. But it's still like not as big as it needs to be, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Charlie, what do you think about that kind of topic?
Well, what it requires to be a good manager?
Yeah, kind of like
someone to get into it.
Like someone who wants to do it. What do you say? Like on top of just kind of being good at scheduling organization, like what do you think are some other skills that kind of can make you a better manager in a sense?
Sucking dick.
Okay, so
I'm just kidding.
at what time did you practice becoming a better dick sucker?
It wasn't for me, but when I first met Boba, he sucked a lot of dick
Okay.
and gave me some pointers.
Good. Well, as long as he's giving pointers, he's giving back. That helps out.
But seriously, I mean, in a way, you need to be. I feel like you need to be pretty good at talking to people, and
Hmm.
um, yeah, I mean, you need to be good at talking to people, and just you have to be really flexible as well. This is an industry that changes really quickly, and situations change really quickly. So you need to have thick skin. You need to be incredibly dedicated and be able to adapt to just I don't know lots of different shit because like things can change so quickly. So
Hmm. That makes sense. Just be ready to go. Oops, sorry, I broke the overlay. That's what I do. Break shit and ruin it. All right, so we got a couple other random questions. Charlie, why don't you take this one first? Noteworthy says from chat, he says, which tournament and organizer treats the team/players the best, kind of in your experience?
Valve, the international.
I feel like that's like a super easy go-to answer. Let's throw them out. Pick number 2.
Which tournament?
Like tournament organizer, yeah.
Tournament organizer treats players the best. I think that's hard to say because I think MLG like Columbus was really good. They ran a really great tournament, but that's also different from Nexon in Korea, where I'll say it's a tie. They both took care of us really well and treated us really well. Their MLG Columbus and the Nexon Super matches were different beasts, so it's hard to compare the two. So I'll say those two.
Okay, good too. Samo, do you have a favorite?
Yeah, well, I don't go to lands because I live in a shit country, so I don't know how they treat people. Well, I do know from players, but I don't have a personal experience about that. But as far as tournament organization goes in general, I think Star Leather is by far the best.
Okay.
Only in the past season. Before that, they were not very good. But in the past season, they were the best by far in terms of scheduling and organizing. And they were also really good at the LAN, according to my players. And of course, MLG Columbus was great for everyone. So those two are the best.
Okay. Next question we got, Samo. I don't know if you can answer this, so I'll let you do it because you're the one who get in trouble. Snapshot asks, is there a company or someone behind Sigma in terms of investments? Can you say that?
Yeah, there's an investor.
Okay.
He has a company, but it's not like related to the company. It's related to the investor. And Sigma itself is now registered as a company in France. So, yeah.
Okay, there you go.
That's what I can say.
There you go. Simple and easy. I like it. Charlie, why don't you take this one? Follow says from chat, he says, there's going to be a roster change. How big of an impact do you have as a manager when it comes to choose who's going to join?
It depends on what kind of manager you are, and how much your players respect you. Really, that's going to be different for every manager on every team. I guess for me personally, if I want to have a really big impact, I can. If I really want to shove something down their throats, I probably could to an extent. But like all roster changes, for the most part, unless barring any like ridiculous circumstance, all roster changes are pretty much up to the majority of the players.
Okay.
Yep.
Samo, you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it's not manager specific. Everyone does it in their own way. But I just don't think, like, most of the time, if you're the manager and you want to force a change on the players, I don't think that will ever work, even if you can do it. It's just, I don't think it's right, you know? You're not going to be like, hey, guys, we're going to kick this guy and get this guy instead, or this guy left. You want this guy, but I want the other guy, so you have to take him. I don't think it works like that. I did have to go through several play changes in AL and Flipside, I guess. But it was always me and the remaining players handling it. Like we agreed on who to take. We had tryouts, etc. It was never like forcing stuff. I guess only under one special circumstance when I had to take Vigos, but the players also agreed after I did it. So I don't know.
Okay, so it's more of a community type thing. It's never you alone or anything like that.
Yep.
Cool. All right, chat. You guys did good. Thank you. Let's kind of wrap this up. I know it's kind of getting a little bit later, especially for Samo. So it's getting it's like 3 a.m. for you. So we'll slowly wrap this up. We'll do a quicker one this week due to last week's 3-hour marathon that was supposed to not be 3 hours. So we wrap things up. We're going to do what we always do. We're going to do the usual tweakedaudio.com hot seat questions. So tweakedaudio.com if you guys need some high quality earbuds for your music listening, podcast listening, whatever it may be, whatever kind of needs you have for headphones, go over to tweakedaudio.com. I will put a link in the show notes for the show if you're watching on YouTube or if you're on MP3 or anything like that. Tweakedaudio.com, you got 5 different styles, 7 different colors. Use the code FIRSTPICK, all one word. You'll get 33% off your order, and a little bit of that comes our way and helps us out and keeps the show moving forward. And thank you to Tweaked Audio for supporting First Pick and a lot of other stuff that we've done in the past. Those guys are absolutely fantastic, and the headphones are great. Lifetime warranty, free shipping worldwide, 33% off your whole order. Use the code FIRSTPICK. Samo, why don't you go first? Questions. I got a whole bunch of random ass questions built up from the past. Are you ready?
Oh yes, I'm ready.
All right. What is the favorite player you've ever worked with being a manager?
Mania.
Mania? Oh, Mania's such a nice guy.
Easy. Too easy.
All right. Who's the worst player you've ever worked with as a manager?
Freezer, also too easy. Oh wait, no, that's not too easy. It's a tie between Freezer and Vegas.
Gotta pick one. Pick one.
Okay, Vegas.
Okay. All right. What is the favorite Dota 2 event you've ever watched?
TI1.
TI1?
Yes.
Why TI1 over the previous ones after that?
I think it's mainly because it was new, but actually no, I think it's the hero pool. I really liked the hero pool during TI1. The games were quite great, especially the Navi versus MYM and one of the Thrice games. I still watch them sometimes. It was just a really good event in terms of the games.
Okay. Fair enough. It was definitely the most hyped because at the time no one knew what was going to happen, so I kind of was like, holy shit, What's this Dota thing? Do you have any favorite Dota matches?
Dota what? Matches?
Yeah, favorite match you ever watched. What is your favorite go-to?
I think Navi versus eHome, the grand final of the other one, because it's just it's about the nostalgia part, I guess. Okay. Not the match itself, but yeah.
Okay, good enough. And what is the hardest part about being a dentist?
Oh, having to learn new stuff every day, I guess.
That's the hardest part?
Yeah, pretty much. As well as, but I don't have to deal with it anymore, or not as much. The really low hygiene people that you have to clean their teeth with scaling and polishing. I used to see some really nasty stuff at the university. Okay, I don't anymore.
All right, so that's the better question. What is the grossest thing you've ever seen as a dentist?
I saw someone who could not see his teeth because of how much calculus was on them.
Oh, yes, that's what I was hoping for.
Literally bulks of calculus. And it was yellow, and it was great. And I took it all out, and I wanted to cry at the end. But yeah.
All right, good. Very nice. Let's look for it. Last question. If you're going to take one Dota hero on a date, who are you taking?
Windrunner.
Windrunner. All right. That was Danny Dem's choice last week, except he went on and on for a solid 5 minutes about why she was the most beautiful woman he's ever laid his eyes on and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, she's pretty. I like her.
Okay, all right, cool. That's that. Charlie, you're up next. I got some random questions for you. Why I guess we'll kind of stick with the same format. What is the best player you've ever worked with, kind of in a manager type role?
The best like my favorite, or
Like favorite, like good solid dude that you've worked with that you've just liked spending time with.
that I just like spending time with. I hate all of them.
You hate all of them.
No, I don't know. That's hard to say. Like, I like Universe Fear. I like Universe Fogged, Owie, a lot. Hell, even Bulba.
Okay.
Despite the fact that he molested me, like the first night that we went to together.
It's a very sore subject for you.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Could you answer then the worst player that you've ever had to work with? Is it gonna be as easy? Samo's just like straight to the point.
The worst player. The worst player. I don't really have one of those either. Because I mean, people expect me to say snaking or something, but I can't even say that because I'm just gonna say Bulba. Fuck you, Sam. Bulba.
It works. You gotta do what you gotta do. What is the best Dota event you've ever attended or watched? Kind of what's your favorite one?
The international.
Okay, we'll pick that. We'll pick get out of those. No TI3, no TI2.
The best one I ever attended.
Attended or watched, either one. I don't know if you've been to a ton of them or not.
MLG Columbus, biased or some shit.
Okay, all right. MLG is pretty cool. What's your favorite Dota hero?
Huskar.
Huskar.
He's a man-up hero, you know? He just goes in, and you're not supposed to give a fuck, and you're just supposed to man up, and Dota needs more of that. None of this split-pushing Furion bullshit, Brood, run off the map, horseshit, fucking awful-ass rat Dota.
Alright.
You're making Fnatic and Alliance really mad right now.
No, yeah, I like that attitude. Just man fight, straight up, just bring it. None of this, like, run away bullshit. I like it.
I agree.
I don't know. I don't have any cool dentist questions for you. What is the worst memory you ever had going to the dentist?
Going to the dentist?
Like, why do you hate dentists?
Because it hurts. I don't know.
It does hurt.
Actually, okay. My worst memory of the dentist is I used to have really bad teeth, and I used to have to go to the dentist a lot because I was a shit little kid. Okay. And wouldn't listen to my parents, and so I had lots of trips to the dentist, and it would take a very long time, and I would want to kill myself sitting in that chair while they put shit in my mouth. Yeah.
Yes.
Would it make you feel better to know that the dentists want to kill themselves too while working?
Yeah, we share in our misery together.
Yeah, exactly. It's just as boring, man. Trust me.
So you're saying you're sitting there in the chair and you don't want the dentist to put it in your mouth, and the dentist is sitting there feeling bad because he doesn't want to put it in your mouth? Is that kind of what the situation is?
Exactly that.
Okay. All right. So it's a mutual respect.
I don't like it when people put things in my mouth, but sometimes it just has to happen.
Sometimes it just has to happen. Which that was the key to becoming a good manager, right? So see this all comes back around. Last question.
I went to the dentist a lot, and he put things in my mouth, and here we are now.
Here we are. Good times. Let's wrap this up before this gets worse. Favorite? Okay. Ugh. You're taking the Dota hero out on the date. Who you taking?
Crystal Maiden.
Crystal Maiden. Any specific reason why?
I have a weakness for blondes.
Okay. That's fair enough. All right, guys, that was tweakedaudio.com, a hot seat. I'll put a link to that. It's tweaked.com or tweakedaudio.com. Whatever. I'm silly. I'm losing my mind. Thank you, Tweaked Audio. Use the code FIRSTPICK, 33% off, and you get some awesome headphones. Let's wrap this up. Call it a night because it's getting dark and it's Saturday. We got things to do and people to see. Samo, where can people find you? Shout outs, all that kind of good stuff.
They can find me at Samo the Lamo on Twitter, and my blog is behindthelanes.wordpress.com. Shoutouts to Mania, Unicorn, Rise, Miracle, all my old team, as well as, of course, my current team, Sigma International, fucking mad, Fada, Suck, Smiggle, and especially Pass, because he's really good. Crystal made him. I love Pass.
All right.
Shout out to Shiva as well for helping.
Cool. Charlie, where can people find you and all the stuff you're happening?
You can find me at Monolith Dota on Twitter, and I guess, you know what, shout out to Shiva too. She works really hard and she doesn't get enough credit. And Pili Die, shout out to Pili Die, not because he's a good captain or anything, but because he's actually, in terms of attractive Dota players, I feel like he's really underrated.
Okay. That's the
So,
important stuff.
yeah.
I don't know about that, man.
Top
No,
three.
it-
Top three, Charlie. Who's the top
My
three?
players are hotter than your
Okay,
players. I'm sorry.
top three.
Top three.
I would Aki, number one.
Okay.
He is a top tier band pick. He is the Earth Spirit of looks.
Of looks. Okay.
And then, depending on what you're into, I would have Hani and Pili Die.
All right. Solid. It's a solid 1, 2, 3. Samo, do you have a 1, 2, 3?
Of course, man. It's really important.
Let's hear it.
Aki is number one without a doubt.
So Aki's the undefeated champion, number one slot right now.
Aki is without a question.
Yeah.
It's not just his look. He has amazing hair and just how he dresses. Like, if you see him at a LAN, it's just like, man, that guy has shit
Aki is
together.
perfect.
If he were a dentist, I would let him put things in my mouth.
Okay. All right, good.
Number two is fucking mad. He's the most handsome French player and the most handsome Frenchie ever.
Okay.
I love you, Mad. No homo.
There are only like three. There are like three French players. How is that?
Dude.
Out of those
dude.
three, he's the best one.
There are many French players. You just didn't know them. There's like 5 full French teams. So yeah.
You went from
Okay.
10 to 5 really fast. So I don't trust your knowledge of this.
And number three, wait. Number three is G. God.
Okay. All
He's
right.
sexy, man. He's a tiger.
He's a tiger. That's right. This is the worst. I'm sorry. It was funny at first, but man, he took that a little too far. All right. Let's wrap this up because this is going south fast. You guys can find me on Twitter at IndieFinch. It's INDIEFINCH. If you will have questions, comments, things like that for First Pick, it's firstpickdota@gmail.com or just twitter.com/@firstpickdota. That's what you want. You can see kind of what's happening in the schedule time for the show. Running super late than when we usually record, and I kind of posted it last minute. That is my bad. I'm trying to do better on that, but I have a busy-ass life, so forgive me. Other than that, if you can watch the VODs, they're over at youtube.com/flipsidetactics. Remember that E in there is a 3 because someone stole our name, so it's FLIPSID 3 tactics. You can see all the shows we're doing over there, such as the Dota Clinic, in which I'm breaking down how you become a better Dota player using your mind, talking about psychological terms and things like that. So this week's episode is going to be on motivation, how to maintain it and analyze it and figure out motivation and kind of what that means. So if you want to check that out, it's over at the youtube.com/flipsidetactics. Other than that, if you can leave us iTunes reviews, that helps, and all that kind of good stuff. I don't want to beg for it, but I'm going to beg for it. Because Charlie says you got to suck a little bit of dick to get ahead in life, so you know what? By golly, we got to do it sometimes. And that is that. We'll be back next week with episode 9 of First Pick. As far as guests and content, who knows? Maybe Manny will be back, and we'll figure it out from there. Until then, enjoy the music. Thank you, Rags Official TV, for the great song. Thank you to Samo. Thank you to Charlie for being here today. I really appreciate both you fellas coming on.
Thanks, man.
Final words, anything?
Can we have a last minute poll, and people can tweet it or whatever? Who has the hotter player, Sigma or Speed Gaming?
Okay.
Okay, that's okay. Okay. Okay.
Sorry, Charlie, my players are hotter than your players, man.
I would say on average, you may take this.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
know. Okay.
You do have Bone 7 though. He's pretty hot.
I have Aoi, who has like 1 million
Oh, yeah.
fanboys.
Yeah, I love Aoi too. Damn, I should have put Aoi in my top 3 list.
See, honorable
So-
mention number 4 slot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Let's
good.
do that.
Perfect. All right. let's end this. Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you guys for watching on the VOD, MP3, and all that good stuff. Until then, we'll see you next time on First Pick. Take care, have a good week, and I don't know. Don't let any dentist put things in your mouth that you don't want there. I guess that was the lesson we learned today. See you next time.
Your
See you, man.
turn to pick.
Let's go. This is domination among the things you've been waiting for. Headed to the top.